Any confirmation? Okay, we'll let the record show that Lisa is present virtually and we will work on her sound.
Thank you. Okay, next item of business is adoption of the agenda. At this point, the staff has an amendment to the agenda. Do I just give that a nod or are you guys going to explain what that amendment is?
Jovi's going to state it now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Our amendment for tonight is as follows. Consider any requests of a commissioner to attend the meeting remotely under the emergency circumstances of AB 2449.
And we have no emergency declarations this evening. So at this time, we would take a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Okay, I need someone to make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I second.
All in favor? Julie?
Aye.
Frank? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda has been adopted.
I didn't get a call. No?
We didn't realize that you had audio now, Lisa. Okay.
Oh,
so Lisa,
sorry.
Lisa Greenlee,
Yes, I'm here.
thank you.
Great.
Excellent.
Okay, next item of business is approval of the January 2023 minutes. They were attached and distributed. Do we have any questions on those minutes? If no questions, then can I get someone to make a motion to approve those?
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Why don't we just start with you and we'll work this way.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Natalie?
Renee, aye. Lisa,
Lisa?
aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Those are now approved. On to the next order of business, citizen communications. I understand that we do have an oral communication this evening. Is that correct?
Come on up.
So I'm here tonight. I deliver food to seniors. And so I would like to offer my assistance. And initially I was. And it's my understanding that the senior shuttle is no longer going to be happening because of the cost and the infrequency or the low number of people that utilize it. So I'm here tonight to request that we could get the rec van to take us up to San Bernardino Mountain because there are very passive paths there, the youth camp trail and the Guadalupe trail, and they don't have dogs there, which sometimes dogs could be an issue on Quarry Road for people. So I was hoping we could do that. And San Bernardino Mountain is in Brisbane. The address is in Brisbane, so it's one of our parks. And, you know, whatever we could work out in the future, I could do 1 day a week for sure. And I've asked some of the seniors if they'd be willing to go as a group, and they would. So that's what my request is.
Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. We will take that under advisement. We appreciate you coming forward tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item of business is our presentation tonight. We've got a presentation on Silverspot Cooperative Nursery School, and we've got Diana and Emily here tonight to take us through this. Welcome.
Board President Emily Lerowet. And this is our first time, I think, presenting at the Park and Rec Commission. This is our 20th year. And I can't believe this is our first time, but we're so happy to be here. And what you're looking at is our website. I think a little further down, you're going to see a little play button for a tour, inside tour of our space, which we have from the city of Brisbane. Been in partnership with the city of Brisbane from the very, very beginning. I actually am one of the new families that started Silverspot. We were one of the first families that were enrolled. My son is now 21 and almost 22. And it's full circle because I took my son there. And oh, there's our video. We can take a look at that. You can see the space. There we go. So that's our front yard. And we are there from 9 to 4. The children are there from 9 to 4, depending on what schedule they do. And then we play in the tot lot, which is the public Brisbane Park. And it is open to the public during school hours. Not a lot of friends come unless they are interested in our school and they want to kind of hang out with us just to get their kids acclimated. This was our COVID 10 family cohort that you're looking at there. And that's when I took over as director. I wasn't there the whole time. I actually was a teacher at Park and Rec preschool that was on BES, and I left there and I came back to Silverspot right before COVID, and our director retired and I took over and I'm still there. And this is our school. We have a little, our little trifold that tells a little bit about us. I left you guys brochures that you guys can see. But we really are grateful that the city of Brisbane works so closely with us. And we are a big part of our community here. We do Day in the Park. We do, what other stuff do we do?
Santa
There's-
photos.
Oh, Santa photos at Brisbane Dance Workshop. And we
Which
will
our
be-
parents dress up for.
Yeah. And we're going to be having our big anniversary party this summer to celebrate our 20 years. And we're going to invite all our teachers back and a bunch of our alumni. So we're excited. We're definitely going to invite all of our Brisbane commissioners and also Noreen and everybody else who wants to come and check us out. Any questions or anything?
Thank you so much for coming tonight. What ages do you take at the nursery school?
We start at 2.5 and go to 5 and 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Very
And we
good.
send a lot of our kids to Brisbane Elementary School because when we first started Silverspot, there were parameters from the city that we had to meet. And one of them was our priority goes to returning students, alumni, and Brisbane residents first. So we always have plenty of Brisbane residents.
And then families who
And
also
then-
work in Brisbane.
Yes, and families who work in Brisbane.
So there's 10 families right now that are Brisbane residents or work in Brisbane. And most of them will be back next year. And we had an open house recently and we had quite a few families from Brisbane come to tour, and we're hoping that they'll join us next year.
So are there families outside of Brisbane too?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how do people find out about this?
Word of mouth.
Yes, word of
Mostly.
mouth is
That's
very
the
strong. Website. We are part of California Co-op Council, and we do a lot of things with them. And so they have a back to school night kind of stuff, and people find us through that.
We're part of the Moms of Brisbane, Mothers
Oh,
of
yeah.
Brisbane group. There's a Facebook page. But truly, most of it is word of mouth. Families who've been, families who've had more children coming back. But it is a very, very close-knit community of families.
Right, and we take our teachers take our kids out on walking field trips around town. And we always have our blue shirts. So a lot of families some of the families at our open house are saying, oh, I noticed you guys because I see you guys walking around town in your blue shirts. So that's always good advertisement too.
And how, if somebody has a hard time with affording the tuition, how do you deal with that?
We also have tuition assistance, which is another parameter that Brisbane City had us incorporate when we
Gotcha.
started. So we always have that available to families.
Okay.
We also are, as a parent, it's relatively inexpensive because the parents are actively involved. And so there's 2 teachers and 2 parents there all day, making sure that there's a 1 to 5, student to adult ratio. The parents clean the school, the parents maintain the school, do the deep cleanings. So we're a very active families. We get together outside and we've gotten to know each other quite well for play dates and whatnot. But it's lesser expensive than your Montessori's or your other preschools because of that.
And that's also because we are a co-op preschool. So the families are running the school. It's not a private thing.
And then through the chair, question. So it's up to age 5. So there seems like the last, up to 5th, 4 or 5-year-olds. Does the school prep them for kindergarten? How is that program for those?
So it is a multi-age preschool, 2.5 to 5. But when they are when they are ready for graduation, we do have a pull-out pre-K. So just the kids who are going into kindergarten in the fall, they have a separate pull-out with myself, and we work on, kindergarten readiness, because we are a full-on play-based model of school. So we don't have a lot of have-tos. It's really free-flowing, and it's our curriculum even. We do have a curriculum, but it is the teachers really want to incorporate what the children want to learn and what kind of things that they are interested in at the time. So sometimes we're talking about dinosaurs for 3 weeks, and that's okay. But yes, we do have a pull-out pre-K that we do.
And even those children, my daughter's only 3.5. She came home singing the months of the year song, and then, understanding her senses, the 5 senses, a week later. And I go, I didn't teach you that. So she's definitely learning at the school, even though she's not in the pre-K readiness class. So.
And then I might have missed it, but how is, what's the collaboration between you and, say, the Parks and Rec? Because help me understand that. How can we help you in any way, maybe, is the question.
It's not really that we need help. We just wanted to share with you guys what we do and be a part of the community. I do have a connection with Park and Rec because I used to be the preschool teacher, and I'm still very, very close with Marcella, who I handed that off to. But and it's nice. We work really close. Sometimes when we take walks to the big park down in the middle of town, we'll see that classroom or the kids from that class, and we just all play together. And it's really great. So it's always nice to be, open and share and all of that. So that's why we wanted to come and let you guys know that we're still here. And
Good to
we're
good to meet
happy.
you.
And our main contact with the city is Noreen.
Yes.
So that's who we reach out to if something's going on or needed. And we use the tot lot, it's Parks and Rec.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
good, thanks.
I will add, just for the commissioner's knowledge, so the facility that Silverspot uses is a city-owned facility, that's city-owned property. And we are in the process of updating our lease agreement with Silverspot, so that'll go before council, hopefully within the next several weeks here.
Thank you. It looks like Lisa Greenlee has her hand raised.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say that when this was just an idea, and I guess I was there at those initial meetings trying to get this started because my son is now 21. And unfortunately, we didn't get to go because the model at the time didn't work for my schedule. And I did want to ask, you guys still have a option for working parents, do you not?
Well, as a co-op, we still have to have a lot of parent involvement. So right now, every family does a work shift in the classroom, but we also have families who, if they can't work in the classroom, they have a cleaning shift. So we haven't had a buyout in a long time, but that was an option earlier on. But with changes with COVID, we really had to pivot a little bit as far as what we are offering. Like our schedule is different. We used to have a morning program and an afternoon program, but now it's just morning program, which is extended till like 1 o'clock. Before it used to end at 12 or 12:30, I believe. And now we have an extended care that goes to 4. So it's still not all the way to 5 or 6, but it does meet the needs of this particular community at the moment for us.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty normal as far as hours go. I don't know of many preschools that go way deep in but I appreciate everything you guys do. You've been going strong for years. I've heard nothing but good things about the program, and the kids all come out of it and go right into BES. And it's just a continuation of our community taking care of the kids. So I really appreciate it. And yeah, I can imagine that the last few years have kind of tightened those abilities to have buyouts because you need all hands on deck when, and there are other options for parents that can't handle the schedule, but it does build community, and I'm really proud to have Silverspot in our town. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, if I may, before they take off, I also wanted to share, we very much value the partnership and collaborative relationship that we have with Silverspot. If you recall, during the holiday season at the Sunrise Room, the art that was painted was sponsored on behalf of the Silverspot preschool. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Thanks for making that connection, Nicole.
Okay, I have one more question. I love the name. Where'd you get the name?
Oh,
The butterfly.
It's the butterfly,
Okay.
Silverspot butterfly.
All right.
They're native to the San Bruno Mountain.
Okay.
So there's only 2 major populations left of the silver spot butterfly, and one is local.
Excellent. Thank you. Glad I asked.
Any other questions? Well, Diana, Emily, thank you so much for coming tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is old business, and we've got our report out from the Parks and Rec Commission retreat meeting that was held this past Saturday, March 4th. In summary, the commissioners came together. We spent most of the morning and part of the early afternoon going over a variety of topics. It was a fun day, and I would like to thank staff for making it so much fun. Some of the stuff that we had to get through was not exactly exciting material, but we got through it with their help. So again, thank you. One of the exercises that I really appreciated is we decided we were going to talk about all the projects that we have on the board and how we specifically think about them and how they should ladder up to the principles that have been put out there by City Council. So, we need to look at things through 5 specific lenses as we're talking about projects and thinking about doing things. We have to have like fiscal responsibility as one lens. Another one is ecological responsibility. Third lens is community building, which we do with everything that we're involved with. Another one is being economically, or do economic development and be aware of that. And last but not least is make sure that we're considering safety in everything that we do. So I thought that that was a good exercise. And as we move forward with new ideas, definitely we'll be keeping an eye on that. Would like to hear from some of the other commissioners if they had any favorites or any call outs or anything special.
Through the chair, I just second everything you said in terms of it being a really productive morning. And I really do appreciate the staff time and effort that went into it. I think for me, looking at everything we do kind of comprehensively, the budget exercise was really important and valuable in terms of how that works, because it does really inform everything that we're able to do. And I think it really gave us kind of a framework in which we can zero in on the things that we as commissioners really want to focus on. So I appreciated the effort, and I really look forward to kind of building on it and laying out our vision for the future.
Thank you, Julie.
Through the chair, can I speak?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I also really found the financial part of the planning really interesting, because I don't know that we've ever really taken such a holistic view of our programs and how they're funded and how we would fund stuff that we want to do as our priorities become clear through this year. And it really brought up a lot of work that I feel like we hadn't realized that we really need to do if we want to get some stuff done, because it all costs money, and so whether it's, looking at our fee structures of some of our programs, or whether it's grant writing and going out and trying to see what other cities have done to get money for, for their park and rec facilities that need work like ours do. Anyways, I just thought that exercise was really eye-opening, and it helped me understand how we can get things done that we get frustrated that we are not getting done. And a lot of it has to do with the budget. So that was very helpful for me.
Thanks, Lisa.
I can add to it. So I want to echo what everyone mentioned, especially like with what was mentioned with the community building, all of our, our five mission values or our 5 goals, and bringing that to, thinking about those 5 and then making sure that we're applying that to all those activities and any questions with the community. Also, I want to echo what Lisa said about the financial overview. That was a big eye-opening. And then especially like learning what priorities we have to go through, but it seems like we have a lot to do. And I think that also the main thing is here that we're very grateful to cross paths with each other. We enjoy working with each other. So, yep.
Well said. Thank you, Natalie. If we don't have anything else on the commission retreat, I think we can move on to some new business. And on tonight's agenda, we have to establish and adopt the 2023 commission calendar. Are we pulling that calendar up now? We are. We're going to pull the calendar up. I think we have some work we still want to do on it, or? Okay.
Just give me a moment so that I can share the screen for those joining us on Zoom.
Okay.
Nope. Maybe. It's not showing on here. Can you see it on your screens? No.
No.
Okay. Bear with us. Here. Now?
Not yet.
Clicking on it, it's kind of glitching out or something.
I can see the top half, but not the whole thing.
It's really bizarre.
Oh, now we have it.
There you go.
You do, but I don't think they do virtually.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But it's printed out in our notes, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, let me try one more time.
Well, it's up, but you have to scroll down. We can just start at the top. Can you do your scroll bar and see if that works? Now scroll down. Oh yeah, there, that's fine. Just
Okay.
scroll as we go. That's fine.
Well, I think you're seeing it, but we're not seeing it here in person.
Oh, bummer.
So, oh, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna work with that. But I need to scroll up. Here we go. Okay, I can't see it on my screen here, so I'm gonna just attempt to view it up there. Okay, so this was an item that we had hoped to get to as part of the commission retreat last Saturday, but we ran out of time because we were just having too much fun. But the idea is that we can kind of lay out the next several months, and this can be a living document that we update throughout the course of the year based on the commission's identified priorities. And so typically what we fold into this commission calendar includes things like presentations, similar to what Silverspot did this evening, as well as special event debriefs and other kind of annual items such as the commission reorg and subcommittee assignments and our budget or CIP review. Usually those happen in alternating years. Our annual placeholder for National Parks and Recreation Month. So it helps staff and the commission chair to kind of outline this level of detail so that we can formulate the upcoming meeting agendas and add to them as necessary. So what I've provided this evening is kind of just a general shell of a framework of what we anticipate coming up. I've asked staff to kind of plug in their respective program presentations on those given months, but we can certainly move or shift anything. The goal for this evening was just to kind of identify additional priorities that we want to incorporate in upcoming meetings, ideally the next 2 or 3 meetings, so that we have a plan in place for those meetings.
Noreen, question to understand here.
Yes.
So I see in June, we've got something, we've got an event debrief for LUNAFEST. That would be the entire commission would be talking about their experience at LUNAFEST. That's what that
That
means.
is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, all of this looks good to me. I think I expressed this at, our meeting earlier. I just want to make sure we're creating enough space to talk about some of the big things we want to do. And maybe that's done at the committee level. But I think once we identify the key priorities, I think we kind of circled around a few things that we found as a group very important. Just making sure we have enough time and space to really delve into those topics. I know one of them is the community center and what to do about that. And I think there are a couple of other items.
Yeah, so what it would be helpful would be for the commission to kind of talk about the approach to those things and whether you want them to come back as a complete item for discussion with the full commission at an upcoming meeting, or if you want to delegate that to the subcommittee level, who could then bring back a report to the full commission.
Should we talk about that now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I think the last time we talked about the community center, wait, talk around the mic. The last time that we talked about the community center, I believe we were awaiting an estimates on what it was going to cost to sort of scope out what it would cost to improve that into something else. So with that being said, I think once we can get our hands on that estimate, then that's the time that I think we start talking, because we would need to start approaching council to get funding for whatever that might be.
And do we want to kind of leave that with the facilities committee to move that forward and bring us in when we need to be brought in on it, the right timing? How do we feel about that?
I feel okay about that. I'm also on that subcommittee. But I feel like all the commissioners here are passionate about it. So it probably is maybe a hybrid of both.
Yeah.
Through the chair. I guess maybe for me, so I wasn't at the event on Saturday. Apologize for that. But Lisa did fill me in a little bit. She spent about 45. So I got a condensed version, 45 minutes, what you guys did in 4 hours. I do feel like there are some things that we could be doing before the estimate comes in. I would love to have a couple of us set up time with, like for example, Burlingame just have opened just this beautiful facility that's just inspirational, and the process that they went through, I think we could probably learn quite a bit. Also, kind of how are they keeping the facility maintained? How did they engage community, but also sponsorship, those sorts of things. Those are all things that I think we could be, we're going to have to do. And B, maybe we could be learning now because we know that's coming. So I'd actually like to propose that we start sooner rather than later on that. And I mean, honestly, the idea of it being at a subcommittee is perfectly fine, but I do think that my sense is all of us are super excited about this, and probably all of us want to be involved. So the subcommittee, it's fine, but we all want to join.
Through the chair, I agree with that. And I actually think we can all add different talents to kind of bring this to fruition. But I think one of the things to think about is what is going to be our vision of that. Because to even get any funding, we're going to have to really come up with that, what the vision of it is. So, I'd be willing to help with the grant proposal thing, since that's what I am most familiar with. So maybe Renee, I know you have experience in that area too, and with facilities.
Different kind, but yeah. And I think, what was I going to say just went away, so never mind.
If I may, I know that we had talked about this on Saturday and the importance of it, there being kind of this ongoing dialogue with City Council to make sure that we're understanding their direction and their priorities and folding this into that conversation. And so there may be an upcoming opportunity to meet with the City Council subcommittee and have liaisons from Park and Rec Commission kind of be part of that conversation at that level to make sure that the commission's goals are aligning with the direction and council goals.
And I guess we have our 5 pillars that we need to make sure this thing aligns with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Through the chair, can I comment?
Yes.
Hang on just a second. Yeah, I believe that it was stated when we were at the retreat that the estimate for the architect's report was already approved by the City Council. Is that not true?
So the last time the City Council reviewed the capital improvement projects list, they did prioritize the assessment of the old library and community center. Staff has secured a quote from Siegel and Strain, which is the same architect that worked on the new library. That needs to go back to the City Council subcommittee for them to authorize for staff to proceed with that process.
Okay, so we're still kind of waiting for that to happen.
Correct.
But did they give us an estimate?
Siegel and Strain did give us an
Yes.
estimate. Yes.
And it was something like 35,000, if I'm not mistaken.
In that ballpark. Yes.
In that ballpark. Okay. So that's just good to keep in our heads, because like Renee said, and also Julie, we're all excited and we all want to know how to move that goal forward once we have the vision that this architect firm will come up with, and we'll overlay our ideas and we'll see what we can come up with. It's kind of in a planning phase, but at the same time, I think, raising the money is going to be significant. So I'm looking forward to really working on it. I don't know what I can do as far as fundraising, but I think I've lived here long enough that I know what people in the town really, or what the city really want out of that space. And so that will be really fun to plan and be a part of. So anyways, there you go.
Thanks, Lisa.
I guess one more comment. I come from an industry, I think, where we Gantt chart ourselves to death. I don't know if everybody knows what a Gantt chart is, but I live by them. This is a project that probably could be Gantt charted. And what I mean by that is if we sort of break this into pieces, it won't seem so overwhelming. And even if we set goals and have to readjust, we'll still see progress. I think that progress will happen faster if we have goals, and even if we miss them and have to adjust, they'll happen faster than if we don't have those kinds of goals. So that'd be one thing I would encourage, is for us to kind of start to break this down into steps, and think about how we can hit each of those steps as we go along.
I think that sounds very reasonable. So Noreen, as far as the calendar goes, do we want to try and put steps out there for each meeting throughout the rest of the year on this? I mean, right now, what Renee's proposing is that we start doing some research right now and some ideating on what might be possible. We can probably start doing something along those lines, I'm guessing, over the next 6 to 8 weeks, maybe, in that range. So maybe that's something that we can come back to. What are 2 meetings from now, the June meeting with?
We can plug that in for June. And I know that staff from the city manager's office are working to set up a meeting with the city council subcommittee as well. So we can let the commission know when we anticipate that taking place. If a commissioner wants to be present and speak on behalf of the commission, you could designate somebody to do that.
Great. I think that sounds like an approach.
Yeah, and I guess I do have a question on the dance between us and the city commission. So if people from Brisbane were to go and talk with people down in Burlingame about what process they followed, would it be more appropriate that people from city council did that, or a mix of people?
I don't want to speak for council members, but I don't know that that's something that they are going to do.
Okay.
But that's just my general assumption. You're certainly not prohibited from doing that. If you want to reach out to your counterparts on the Burlingame Parks and Recreation Commission, you could do that. I know when Lisa and Renee, you were both at the San Mateo County Commissioners Workshop, so it might be worth a reach out. We can also reach out as staff if it makes sense, if there's enough interest on the commission to do a facilities subcommittee there and hear from their team how their new facility came to fruition and how they funded that. We could definitely take that approach as well.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that. Okay, anything else we want to add to the calendar? Can you guys put that back up on the screen for a second?
I have a question through the chair.
Yes.
Does this calendar include all of the events? Because I see debriefs of LUNAFEST and whatever. Does this calendar have every event listed or just a few?
Mostly just a few, the ones that we've historically done a debrief at the full commission level.
Okay, that's fine.
If we want to add, we certainly can do that.
Yeah, Lisa, we're going to do the garden tour and it's going to be the first one. We probably should do a debrief after that.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to presume that it would be on this calendar and it wouldn't just come up in our meeting schedule. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and it'd be interesting to see, to do a debrief to see how it goes for its first year. Also, the garden show, which is going to happen in, I believe, August. So we could do that in September, that debrief.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
And the other thing through the chair that we talked a lot about at the meeting on Saturday was Lippman Field. And that might be the other one that we want to really make sure is represented on the calendar. And again, that could be a committee or it could, but we're all very focused on it.
Okay, so Noreen, I know you said the calendar is a living document. It looks good for the next, well, at least for the next 3-4 months, it looks pretty good. So we can just revisit this at the next meeting.
Yep, we definitely can. The other thing I just wanted to make mention that there were a few items that we didn't get to in the commission retreat that included like sustainability and stewardship. We talked about possibly having our sustainability manager, Adrian, come and do a review of the city's climate action plan. If we want to talk about accessibility, equity, and inclusion at all. Nicole's going to give a brief update tonight about the Age-Friendly Cities Initiative. We talked about doing a fee analysis as part of our master fee schedule review. So those were the items that I kind of noted warranting additional follow-up based on the conversations on Saturday.
Okay, well then why don't we, since we've got, it looks like the end of the year, we've got quite a bit of room if we want to do any sort of liaisoning with the other groups, we can sort of fill those in. I'll leave that up to you guys to do that unless other other commissioners don't have any input on that. Okay.
I have a quick question. When we were talking about the fees and the schedules of those and that conversation that needs to happen. Does that just come up on the agenda or do we need, because I know that the budget is coming up pretty soon. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the budget is coming up pretty soon. I don't know if we need to have that conversation to, affect the budget this go round, but we definitely want to start talking about it for next go round. What does the staff think about that?
I definitely think there would be an opportunity to implement change in this budget cycle as it
good.
relates to master fees. So that analysis could start to because the budget process will move fairly quickly since it needs to be adopted by the end of June by City Council. So that will be a swift process. If the commission really wants to do some additional research and analysis on our fees, you could let staff know which ones. I know we had talked about facility rentals and youth programs and childcare. So we can kind of take a deep dive into that and include it on an upcoming agenda.
That would be great. And I think having if staff can pull that together, I think we could act on that and that would be great in the next budget. Plus, I think we're going to need to get some input from the community on some of these things.
So by next meeting, do we think that staff can have that analysis done? So we've got, something to look at and work with?
Yes. We can identify the specific fees that you want to do additional analysis on. And then if the direction from the commission to staff is to pull comparative numbers from similarly sized agencies or other agencies who offer similar programs in San Mateo County, just to be able to look at how they compare, we could certainly do that. And then that would help to frame the discussion with the commission.
So go ahead, Lisa.
I was just going to say, that's exactly what I want to see.
We can make that happen.
Okay, great.
I'm looking at Nicole.
Okay, so we can put that on the calendar as something that we'll be looking at next meeting, and then that'll certainly make the agenda.
Yes, great.
Thank you. Okay, anything else on the commission calendar? Okay, moving on to the next agenda item, which are the reports. Chairperson, do you have a report this evening?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I do. I have a report for the from the events subcommittee for the new event that we're planning, the Brisbane Garden Tour. It's first ever. And
Actually,
We're going to be talking about the event subcommittee meeting coming up. Do you have anything specific as the chairperson?
oh, anything specific as a chairperson? No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and then moving on to the subcommittees, and you'll see the roster is attached in your form, and if you need to know who is on, or in your deck, if you need to know who's on which committees. So the first committee to report out will be the Concerts in the Park Subcommittee, which was held on January 18th, 2023.
I'll be providing an update on that. Thanks, Nicole, for providing the update notes. So we had the meeting on January 18th with our subcommittee, and it looks like we're going to have, due to some feedback that we had from the community, we've selected a few Fridays evenings and Sunday afternoon dates for the 2023 concert series. They'll be marketed as the July nights and August days on the following dates. So we have Friday evening, July 14th and the 21st, which would be DJ night, and then the Friday evening of July 28th. And then the final two will be on Sunday afternoon on August 6th, where we will have our locals perform. And that will be announced next Friday, right? Oh, sorry, the 17th. Yep. And then Sunday afternoon, the final of the last of our concert series will be on August 13th. Let me see if there's anything else. Nope. And I think that is it. And it's all listed, I believe, on the, is it listed yet on the Park and Rec brochure book yet? Or no, those are not yet, no.
We are putting together the summer activity guide currently. So it is not marketed just yet, but we are working on it.
Great. And then that's it.
And then through the chair, I just want to really thank the team for doing all of the work to find some great bands, including some local bands. I think it'll be really interesting to see how everything goes, and especially with the Friday nights and Sunday afternoons. And just one thing, because I love alliteration, I'd love it to be marketed as July nights and August afternoons. The marketing mind is always at work.
Always at work. Well done, Julie. Thank you for the update, Natalie. Okay, moving on to the Public Arts Advisory Subcommittee meetings, which were held on both January 23rd and February 27th.
that's you, Lisa, since Tom's not here.
Okay, well, I was looking for my notes. I do have notes on the first meeting, which was an interesting meeting. We talked about, was that the one with South San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah, we met with, we had a presentation from South San Francisco. It was very interesting. They talked about all the ways that they had formed their arts advisory committee, how they got their surveys done, how they used their budget, how some of their budget was for salaries for actual people who worked for the city versus the projects themselves. And let's see, I'll just go through and how they figured out how they could use a consultant to help them come up with their public art plan. And it was really great. And there were lots of good ideas on some of their public art that they had already done by starting small and working up from there, really bringing in the community, really doing lots of outreach to artists in South San Francisco. And it was just very interesting. And it helped our group kind of wrap our brains around what our art council could do with our current budget and how to move forward with hiring a consultant that we need to hire to put together our community arts, what do you call it? Help me
Public
out.
art master plan.
Yes, the master plan. That's what we've got to work on. So in the next meeting, we talked about moving forward with putting out an RFP. Didn't we talk? See, I don't have my notes on this, but I believe we talked about putting out an RFP for an art consultant to help us formulate our arts plan. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes, and it was a pretty focused meeting on that, I believe. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And we all agreed that that was the direction we wanted to go in, and that's what we're doing.
Thanks, Lisa. Okay, here we go. Next is the event subcommittee meeting, which was held on January 24th. Lisa, do you have some commentary on that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that one was all about the new event that we're trying to plan for the Brisbane Garden Tour, which is different than the Brisbane Garden Show. The garden tour we're planning is going to be called The Secret Gardens of Brisbane, and it's a joint project with the Lions Club, a little bit of a fundraiser, and we're going to get some of Brisbane's most fabulous gardens, have them open for 4 hours on a Saturday, which I believe is June 10th. So we have some time to clean up. And then people will just go around and look at people's gardens. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So far, I have 10 confirmed gardens on this tour, which was my goal. And I'm really happy that I met the goal. And now we're just going to be meeting to plan it further, drill down on the schedule, help people out with what they need to do for their garden, maybe have a meeting. Haven't gotten there yet. But this was all planned and it's moving forward, and I'm really looking forward to having it be something that maybe Brisbane can do year after year. And there you go.
Can I just say, I love the Secret Gardens of Brisbane title, and congratulations on finding 10 gardens. That's amazing. And I'd love to help any way I can.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Julie. Yes, we were very excited about that. We thought about you when we were talking about the name. Thank you, Lisa, for the updates. Moving along to the next is also events, LUNAFEST subcommittee meeting. We had our very first meeting on LUNAFEST 2023 on February 21st. We came together as a group and just talked about LUNAFEST. Since I've lived in Brisbane, LUNAFEST have always been sort of modified in some way or another due to COVID. But we talked about bringing it back. The chamber recently held a cabaret night, which was very, very successful and very well received. We think that there's quite a few learnings from that event that we can apply going forward to LUNAFEST. So be on the lookout for some changes. We have another meeting coming up where we're going to continue to explore that. We also talked about taking a look at the ticket fees and assessing on whether or not we feel like those are still accurate in modern times here today. So LUNAFEST will be different this year. It will be bigger and better in every way. And we're really excited to keep it moving forward. Did I miss anything, Lisa?
No, that was pretty much what I remembered. I'm also excited that the team is ready to take it live. And I think it's going to be a really good event this year, as it always is.
So just for an additional plug, the date is May 6th. And we anticipate ticket sales going live this Friday.
Thank you, Noreen. Thank you, Lisa. The next item I've got here on the agenda is setting up subcommittee meetings. I know that we've got an events committee meeting coming up. I think it's next week, as a matter of fact. I don't know. Nicole, when is the facilities tour that's coming up? Is that June?
We usually do the full commission facilities tour in June.
June, okay.
Yep, the offsite. So we have scheduled already, you have an events subcommittee meeting. We have a public art committee meeting already scheduled. I think those are the only ones we have currently scheduled. So if there were any additional meetings that the commission wanted to schedule between now and our next April meeting, now would be the time to do so.
Through the chair, would Day in the Park and Brisbane Derby be a little bit early? Because that one's usually in October, right?
It's a little early.
Is that early?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say maybe another month or two.
Okay.
Through the chair, do we need another concerts in the park meeting or not? I think the one thing I'm thinking about is just getting local businesses involved.
We can work to schedule a date.
Nicole said we can schedule a date. Do you want to throw out a couple of options and then we can run it by Trudy?
Yes. Let's see. I can do next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after 3. Do any of those work for you, Natalie?
Yep. Yes, that should work.
How about Wednesday? You said Wednesday works for you?
Yeah, the 15th, the Ides of March. Let's do it.
Yeah. Wednesday, 4:30?
Yes, great.
We'll double check with Trudy and make sure that that works for her as well.
Perfect.
And then Jovi will send out a calendar invite for all.
And then I have a couple questions. I happen to be on the Trails Development Committee as well as the Habitat Restoration Committee. Those two seemed like they might go hand in hand this year after all this rain. And I'm just wondering, it's probably too early to think exactly about what needs to be done, but I know the trails are a little bit of a wreck, and I'm sure there's other parts of the city are too. And I mean, we're about to get dumped on again, I guess. And so, but I'm just wondering if at some point we should probably convene those two subcommittees together.
Yeah, it might make sense to do an offsite with the Trails Subcommittee and actually walk Crocker Park Trail and Quarry just to kind of assess its condition today. And then also follow up with Randy Bro, our Public Works Director. I know he was looking to secure kind of FEMA reimbursements for the damage that was caused. And so maybe we can invite him to get a better sense of what the next steps are in that process and how it relates to the trail resurfacing. So I can reach out to him to see if he's able to participate in that. But it might be good to just get out and walk the trails.
Yep.
So should we do like a email doodle poll or something like that?
Yeah, let me connect with Randy first. And then
Okay,
we'll go from
perfect.
there.
Regarding the facilities, Tom is not with us tonight. And in light of what we're expecting to get, I think we probably can wait until the next meeting to set up a facilities subcommittee meeting. Any other subcommittee meetings we want to talk about tonight?
I wonder if we, in light of the comment from tonight, want to have a senior subcommittee meeting. That might be something to look at.
Yes, we can do that. Do we want to look at next week or the following week?
Let's look at the following week.
That sounds great. Let me know what works for you.
Oh, but you know what? Trudy is also on that one.
She is on that
And
one.
who's the other person?
It's me.
Oh, Frank, sorry. So maybe we should do it next week. And can we have subcommittee meetings back to back? Let's do that. Can you do that, Frank? The
I can.
March 15th?
I can. I'm worried that your name's not under seniors here, though.
Oh, it's.
I mean, we have
I
room.
think I'm on that subcommittee.
We have
If you'd
room.
like to be.
Actually, I'd love to be, but it sounds like Julie has a passion for it. Didn't know until today.
I can stand back. For some reason, I thought I was on it, but no. Sorry about that.
No worries. Staff, what's the process if somebody mid-cycle would like to join a subcommittee?
Well, so typically we do subcommittee reassignments on an annual basis. It is scheduled for your next full commission meeting, but you only have 2 on that senior subcommittee as it stands now. So if you wanted to collectively appoint another individual now, we could do that. You would just need to be formal about that process.
Do we need to get Trudy's permission?
No.
Okay.
But Renee, were you saying you want to be on that committee?
I don't think I want to as much as you do.
I'm happy to be on that committee, but I'm also happy to give it to someone else.
No, go ahead. Thanks.
So how do we conduct an official appointment?
We haven't, I don't think we've really done this, but typically when we do the subcommittee reassignments, then the commission talks about it and then we just kind of adopt the nominations or the appointments. So, I mean, if nobody has any objections, I think it would be fine to proceed. And then we'll bring it back at our next meeting when we do the formal subcommittee reassignments, if everybody's amenable to that.
Great.
So we'll just affirm that there's no objections to an interim appointment for one meeting for Julie on the senior subcommittee.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't think there are any objections.
Okay.
If there's any
Great.
objections, please speak now. Welcome, Judy.
Great.
Julie.
Thank you.
And through the chair, I think it's a great idea though, like how you brought that up, Julie, because I guess it'll go hand in hand with the seniors and then trail development, seeing that Frank is also on both committees, you know, being tied in.
Yes.
I think relevant to that, but doesn't have to necessarily be discussed. And I'm looking over at our staff this lead. I understand there was some sort of a assessment of cities in San Mateo County for how well they meet seniors' needs. And out of 10 communities, I think Brisbane was one of 3 that ranks lower. Is that?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay.
But
I was on a meeting last night at, with Lions Club, and this was what came up there.
What, I don't know if that came out of this.
I mean, statistically, over 50% of our population is seniors in Brisbane is something that has come out of our focus group studies, but not necessarily that tip. But I will be talking a little bit more about the aging initiative a little bit later on in the meeting and can share a little bit further, but not specifically to that.
Yeah, I'll
point.
find out what this was, because I was just last night that I heard about it. And so apparently there's some interest on the Lions Club to do some grant writing around this. So
Love that.
yeah. Okay, thanks.
So just to confirm, for the seniors subcommittee, the intent is to do it back to back with the concert subcommittee on March 15th. Is that correct? Or did I not
Yes.
hear that correctly?
Is that okay, Frank?
I'm looking at my calendar.
Not only am I on the committee, but now I'm setting the dates.
Like I said, welcome. Okay, the 15th
Yeah.
at 5:30. Yeah, that works.
Great. We'll confirm with
Okay,
Trudy.
any other, oh, thank you, Noreen. Any other subcommittee meetings that we need to talk about setting up? Okay, any individual commissioner reports? Doesn't look like there's any of those. Okay, let's move over to staff reports.
Good evening, commissioners. All right, so with regards to classes and programs, I wanted to share a few items with you. The San Mateo County Summer Enrichment Grant was received here in Brisbane, awarded $35,000 for kinder to 12th programs. So we're really excited, staff are really excited about that grant that we have received, and that will be used towards equipment with regards to STEM programs, demonstrations, and scholarships. So that is something that staff will be working on as we prepare for the summer months. If you can take a moment in the coming weeks, our artist Shirley Lim, who teaches programs with our department, has her artwork up in the conference room lobby gallery. So if you can take a moment to check that out, it's really beautiful. I shared with commissioners earlier this afternoon, Women's History Month is this month, including today as International Women's Day. And with that, staff is working on a social media initiative. So if anyone is interested in supporting that initiative, please do share that information with me. I am also a part of the Age Friendly Initiative Task Force, and we did hold a meeting this afternoon at 4:30 in the Sunrise Room. Of that group, we are looking at 8 different domains. I do have all 8 domains here: housing, transportation, communication, socials are participation, community support, respect, and outdoor spaces are the lens at which we're looking at senior services here in Brisbane. And so as the Park and Recreation representative, I'm not solely looking at Park and Rec. We're looking at as a lens of how can the city support senior services here in Brisbane. So we are excited about that moving forward. We also held a youth advisory committee meeting tonight. This Saturday, in preparation of the rain, if you need a place to go with your little one, we have our mob play gym. Additionally, the lifeguard class, Rain or Shine, will be taking place, and that is full this weekend. So that's very exciting. And those who pass that class are welcome to apply for our lifeguarding positions for the summer. And then we are working on our next activity guide, which we are set to release at April 30th. So keep an eye out for that. And we are continuing to program and prepare events for that activity guide. You want to maybe
Just to share a few highlights regarding senior programs. So the Monday lunches, we've seen an uptick in the service. So we're serving about 80 meals per week to the seniors. The senior club membership is also up. We have one of our lead preschool teachers, Iris, who's been doing art with the seniors and really taking the approach of understanding art for them with regards to like arthritis and their fine motor skills. And so they've really appreciated having her kind of energetic spirit with their art program. We recently did a trip with the seniors to wineries. I don't remember which wineries they went to, but they did like a tractor ride and visited a few different wineries. So that was really nice. And the next trip is coming up at the end of the month to
the Disney Museum and Presidio lunch.
And then we've just seen an overall increase in other senior programs, bingo and participation at the Sunrise Room. So that's been really great. Do you want to share youth programs and upcoming events?
So our spring break camp is 2 weeks. So that's starting April 3rd and extends through April 14th. And so registration is open for that. That'll be over at Brisbane Elementary School. So we hope that families will join us there. We do have our final Parents Night Out event. I believe it's Saturday, April 15th. That's always a popular event and has sold out in the recent months. Our summer camp registration is still open, but 5 out of our 8 sessions are already full. And then we do have our preschool that is taught in both English and Spanish that we have available not only through the school year, but during the summertime as well. And then just to finish it off, upcoming events to keep on the community's calendar, we have an intergenerational program of our Senior and Youth Advisory Committee karaoke evening, 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday, March 24th. That was also shared tonight at our task force. So we're excited to have some hopefully new faces attending that as well. On April 22nd, along with the Parents Night Out event, we have an Earth Day habitat restoration event. April 28th is our final teen dance at Mission Blue. And then that following day, April 29th, we are bringing back the Dive-In movie where we will be showing Little Mermaid. All ages are welcome. We're hoping that the Little Mermaid can cater to those who remember that from, years back and allow the little ones to enjoy as well. And at that event, floaties are welcome. So you're able to float and we'll have an inflatable screen and it should be a fun evening. We do have to wait for it to be sunset though, just so we can be able to see the projector screen. And with that, that's all I have for this evening.
That's all, huh? Well done. Thank you so much for the update. Okay, we're done with reports then. Anything, Noreen, additional there?
No, that's all.
Okay. Moving on to commission matters, would like to thank Lee Panza for providing the commission with a written communication on February 17th. We've all received that and reviewed it. So thank you so much. And I don't think we have any other business tonight. So in preparation for adjournment, I would just like to say one more time, Happy International Women's Day. And we're going to call tonight's meeting adjourned at 7:45 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You. It was great to see you all.